Greetings and welcome to another Tomorrow's World webcast. My name is Wallace Smith. It's great to be here. And even though there are so many things going on in the world, I want to talk about something that might surprise you. The Super Bowl happened, at least for me, just a few days ago, longer for you guys. I'm not the world's biggest football fan. I'm a math nerd. But the commercials for the Super Bowl always make the rounds in terms of our cultural consciousness and conversation. And this Super Bowl was no different, even though the overall reviews that I've heard were that the commercials weren't as good this year, perhaps, as previous years, though our society's definition of good seems to be getting out of whack. But there was one commercial in particular, and I admit I have seen it. I've viewed it online. I've seen it multiple times, actually. It was a Doritos commercial. I want to talk about that Doritos commercial. And please forgive me, I'm not saying it's a tasteful commercial. I'm not even saying it's a good commercial. That's not what I want to focus on. But it was a commercial, and some of you have seen it, and you don't need me to explain it, but let me explain it for the others. It was meant to be humorous. It shows a woman who is quite pregnant, and she's in with her husband for a sonogram. And the sonogram is, checking out the baby, and you see on the sonogram image those beautiful sonogram images that we tend to see in when we go in for that kind of work with our wives. And in fact, I know a bit of trivia. The sonogram image that was used was actually the image of the son, I think it was a son, a child, of the creator of the commercial. So that's kind of fascinating to me. But anyway, it's a sonogram image. You see the baby there in the womb. Meanwhile, the husband is busy eating Doritos, and the wife just can't believe it. Even now you're eating Doritos, right? That's the gimmick. Well, anyway, he starts to notice that watching the sonogram, the baby in the womb seems to be tracking the Dorito. He moves the Dorito here, the baby reaches there, he moves the Dorito here, and so he starts messing with the baby until he moves it real dramatically, and the baby essentially jumps out of the womb for the Dorito, to everyone's horror. Again, I didn't claim it was the most intelligent ad in the world, not even saying it's tasteful. But what grabbed my attention, and really grabbed the attention of a lot of people, was a tweet on Twitter from NARAL. Who is NARAL? N-A-R-A-L. That acronym has meant several things over the years, but the focus has always been abortion. In fact, it used to be the National Abortion Rights Action League, I think, was one of the meanings. They've just called themselves NARAL now, because who wants to have the word abortion in their name? Even though that is a big part of the organization. Well, they tweeted about that commercial. And through the magic of the internet, I hope we will display that tweet right here on the screen for you to see as I read it. NARAL tweeted on February 7th, "Not buying it. That Doritos ad using anti-choice tactic of humanizing fetuses and sexist tropes of dads as clueless and moms as uptight." Hashtag SB50 was the Super Bowl hashtag. All right, so that Doritos ad using anti-choice tactic of humanizing fetuses. Now, I'm not here to get into the politics, and NARAL is essentially a very political organization. In fact, what's their full name? I have it here somewhere. NARAL Pro-Choice America. Sounds Orwellian, but frankly, that's their full name. That had to be one of the most ridiculous tweets I've ever seen in my life. Frankly, when I first heard about it, I thought it was a gag. I thought it was someone poking fun at this abortion promoting organization. And it's not. It's actually their tweet. Can we discuss just a little bit the moral and logical insanity of complaining about humanizing a fetus? Humanizing a human fetus. What kind of fetus did they think it is? Is it an alligator fetus? Is perhaps a giraffe fetus? Was it a frog tadpole? It was a human baby in a woman's tummy. The complaint that we are humanizing a fetus, I am sorry, that helps to picture the absolute low where we find ourselves as a society, where everyone is so desirous to win their argument that they have to say the most completely inane, ridiculous, stupid things, like somehow it is wrong to humanize the very human fetus in the womb. Completely, absolutely ridiculous. At the same time, notice what they admit but don't state directly. they kind of give a throw out to these sexist ideas concerning moms and dads. But notice what they say. They complain about sexist tropes of dads as clueless and moms as uptight. You know, if I were a Jedi, I might say their tweet betrays them. Why are they calling the two individuals a mom and a dad unless they truly do understand that that is a baby, a child in the womb? We can try to control our vocabulary with Orwellian tactics, but the truth is still in our hearts. What is that truth? That is a life, that is a child. King David said in Psalm 139, verse 13, "For you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb." God knows the truth. King David knows the truth. If we're honest, you and I know the truth. And if they're honest, even Nerol does. I hope this has been a helpful webcast for you. Please check out our other resources at tomorrowsworld.org.